We're off to the races. Welcome, everybody. Tonight is Tuesday, September 24th. It's about 7 o'clock. We're having Planning Zoning Commission public hearing and general meeting tonight. We're in Town Hall, in room 206. We basically have a pretty straightforward agenda tonight with a bunch of public hearings and a couple of general meeting items. So let's get right into it. The first item on the agenda is special permit application number 258C, Stretch CT1 LLC, Darien Place LLC. It's known as PL 24-115. The address is 1077 Boston Post Road. Proposal to establish a practitioner-assisted stretching studio known as Stretch Zone within the 1,088 plus or minus square foot first floor space at the rear of the building, presently occupied by Laurent Lighting. This subject property is located on the northwest side of Boston Post Road, approximately 550 feet northeast of its intersection with Leroy Avenue, and is shown as Assessor's map number 73 as lot number 7 and 42, with the shared parking lots on lot number 40 and 41 in the CB and PR zones. This is a store that's going to come in or wants to come in a vacant lighting store. It needs a special permit because it is a personal service use.
That's
Fantastic.
right.
Fred, what do we got, sir?
Yep. So I correctly note that the use is a personal service business under our regulations. The applicant is proposing 5 or 6 different stretching tables in which a practitioner will work one-on-one with their clients for 30 to 60-minute sessions. The hours of operation of the business is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. during the weekdays and 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Fridays and the weekends. This use requires 1 parking space per 200 square feet of space. However, we do note that we're dealing with a shared parking situation here where the new tenant would share parking spaces with the other Darien Place tenants as well as the Darien Sports Shop. The application was submitted in conformance with Section 1000 of the Darien zoning regulations under our special permit regulations. Mike Vitti of the building department, the building official, submitted an email for the record dated September 4th noting no comment with the application. And tonight we have Bob Maslin here, the applicant's representative, to present some of the details of the application and answer any questions you may have.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fred. Bob, welcome.
Welcome.
You've got a haircut.
Well, I try to stay neat.
There you go.
Attorney Robert Maslin representing the applicant, which is Stretch CT1 LLC. I have a PowerPoint. Fred covered quite a bit of what I was going to cover, but I can start with telling you a little bit more about Stretch Zone itself. It's a pretty significant franchise. It has over 300 locations sprinkled among 40 states. The practitioners themselves receive training and through a nationally recognized Stretch Zone certifying agency, but no licenses are required because they're not massage therapists and they're not medical personnel. This particular applicant, Stretch Zone 1, is operated, or its principals already own 24 franchises, mostly in Florida, and they want to come into this area in Connecticut. So Stretch Zone itself is very well established in the country, and the Stretch Zone that is the franchisee here is likewise very well established, albeit in Florida. Just a couple of things that I'll point out here on my overview slide. The gross floor area is 1,088 plus or minus square feet, and that's gross measured from the outside. The open floor plan internally is 45 by 22 approximately. The lighting store is basically a retail lighting showroom, so there's not a great deal of fit-up that needs to be done. Oops, I don't know what happened there, but we should.
We're good. We can.
We have it on our.
Oh, you got your things there.
We have
so-
our hard copy of things.
Yeah.
What happened here? All right, let me zip through the rest of this then. As Fred mentioned, this is allowed by special permit, but it's a unique kind of special permit because there's no odors, there's no noise, no unusual traffic or parking issues. It just happens to be one of those uses that the commission wants to take a look at on a special permit level, so it's on the special permit list. The hours, these are maximum hours as that Fred mentioned. They're virtually all by appointment. Every once in a while, I suppose somebody could walk in if there's an empty table and an available practitioner, they can get their half-hour or hour treatment, but by and large, it's all by appointment. Parking requirement is exactly the same as it is for Laurent Lighting, one space for each 200 square feet. In fact, Section 904P lists both retail and personal service in the same place in the parking table. If you go to the next slide, there's an aerial photograph. The yellow circle is where this particular use is, and then I go through a couple of photographs of the outside of the particular location from various vantage points in the shared parking lot. And this is in the corner of the building that used to be the Darien Dinner Theater, but it's been repurposed by the Vaqueros over the last several years.
Darien Playhouse, you mean?
Darien, yes, Darien Playhouse, Darien
Darien
Theater.
Geez, you're really dating yourself.
In the 50s, it was called something else, but
I
it was
wasn't
always
born
a
in the
theater
50s.
in those days. I watched The Sting there once, back in the 70s. And then I have the floor plan, which is part of our application. You can see there's nothing to it but a closet and a restroom. Then a couple of typical layout photographs. The layout is very similar to physical therapy. If you go into a physical therapy place, there's tables and you get tortured on the tables. Very similar. Questions? That's it. There's nothing complicated here. The parking blends in, same requirement. It's a good fit.
So for relative to parking, as letter of the law, you need 5 parking spaces, right? 5 per 1,000?
It's the same
1,000.
number that the lighting
So,
store
At
required.
the end, and there's how many parking spaces back there? 400? Something like that?
Well,
It's on the survey, yeah. So I don't think there's going to be an issue there.
I stopped counting that parking lot long ago.
Yeah,
There are
no,
quite a
we've
few.
counted it many times. There's 5 stations, so there's going to be probably 5 people or 6 people there working, and then 6 participants. It's 12, maximum 12. You get 5 parking spaces, should be fine. It's
And there
pretty
are other
straightforward.
things, so you get the shared, activities going on.
Yeah. Plus, we also want people to walk downtown.
Yes.
They should be able to walk over to Neat and other coffee places and get coffee.
Come off the train after a very busy day, and
they
you
go to
can
Nero.
either go to Stretch or go have a margarita at the other place in the same building, so, or maybe both.
Fantastic. Amy, any questions on this one?
I have a question just from practicality. You have 2 sides that are very exposed with glass. Do they envision window coverings or what's
Nothing specific,
visible?
nothing specific.
Just like there's no,
I think it's one of those things where, once you get in the place, you see how it operates, and, if they think they need to put shades in for privacy, I'm sure they'll figure out how to do that.
okay,
Eventually, they'll have to go to ARB if they do that.
okay.
Well, it's kind of an
Yes,
instant.
Yes, I was just
Signage.
gonna say, are we gonna be able to control what that looks like, since it's such it's a pedestrian thoroughfare there, and you just wanna make sure it has a decent look to it, because it's such a feature of that corner
Right.
building, all those windows.
So I think today they also have signage on 2 sides, and the signs will have to get signed off on it.
The signage they'll deal with, but they intend to meet the sign requirements. They don't have an oversized logo or any of the things you see sometimes with national franchises.
So they can go to ARB for the windows. I
Yeah.
mean, I know Gregory's Coffee went back and forth 5 times with their windows. So they go to
Yeah.
ARB after the fact when they do the signs at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. We have regulations as well that are enforced by our staff relative to window coverings and, that sort of thing. So,
All that on the exterior,
correct.
not the interior.
Well, even anything that's covering the windows from the interior side, if it's blocking out the entire window, that wouldn't be permissible under our regulations.
Like the film on Gregory's Coffee, that's on the inside, is
Mhm.
regulated by us on the outside.
Okay.
Anything else, Amy?
Can I make a suggestion
Sure.
or request that we work with the staff, and instead of just putting a blanket requirement in, that we go to ARB except for the signage, of course. And if the staff,
You love ARB, don't you?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
The answer is yes, Bob.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Did you say something?
You good?
Walking by it and the way it looks inside, I'm just curious I'm curious whether people are gonna wanna be on display, but that's not a
Yeah,
question.
no, I hear you.
I just can see people's hesitation to be
Understood.
so on display.
I'll have that conversation, and if it's okay, we'll work through the
Yeah,
issue with the staff.
I'm imagining window coverings are gonna be a logical installation here.
The staff, you had still refer them to
Yeah,
ARB.
okay.
Well, we'll kind of see what
Let's see what it is.
design they come up with. It could be they end up trying it one way,
Yeah.
Bob comes back to us a couple months into them establishing, maybe it's the way they lay out the tables inside, they could avoid some of that.
I mean, you've got exposure on both sides. I don't know how
Yeah.
they can avoid it. It was just an
Yeah.
observation that's
Yeah.
foremost in my mind there.
All the pictures of the
Yeah.
other studios all have the front and nothing, they don't have, they're closed on the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, the others are they're not
Yeah.
corner
Yeah. Okay.
units.
We'll deal with that in the
Your
resolution.
Your concern is, what's this gonna look like?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, no, fair point. I'll take it up with them and work it out with the staff, and if they tell us go to ARB, we'll
Or maybe just keep lights in front of it, keep some kind of lights,
leave some of the lights there.
There you go.
put the tables behind them.
Okay, that was my primary question.
Okay,
George?
All set.
Just, you may have covered it. Is it 4 or 5 beds that are going in there?
It says 5
one or
or
the
6.
other, maybe 6.
It says, yeah, the application says 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
So it'll be 3 on either side. Jamie?
I'm good.
You're good? Would anybody in the audience like to speak to this application, or the general public? She might be there, all right. With that said or not said, anything else we're missing?
Nope.
Nope, okay, entertain a motion to close? Adam makes a motion, Jamie makes a second, all in favor? Okay,
Thank you.
we're good.
Sorry I took so long.
15 minutes for 940 square feet. Should be a long time. All righty, next item to do. Special permit application number 336, also known as PL 24-110, Legacy Martial Arts of Darien, Darien Post Realty LLC, 364 Boston Post Road, proposed to establish a new 1,559 ± square foot martial arts facility within the first floor space formerly occupied by Pasta Vita. The 0.49 ± acre subject property is located on the southeast side of Boston Post Road, approximately 150 feet southwest of its intersection with Birch Road, and it's shown on Assessor's map number 32 as lot number 13 in the designated business DB zone. Pasta Vita went out a few months ago, maybe it's even 6 months ago now, and I think the pop-up, this martial arts has been acting as a pop-up store there once in a while. the only major thing we really have to just double check on is parking. And I'm sure they're gonna make friends with the people in the back to be able to park in the back.
Yeah,
parking lot.
yeah.
What do we got, Fred?
This is another personal service business under our regulations. All of you have probably noticed that the business has been in operation now for several months. So this is actually an after-the-fact permit that's before the commission this evening. The applicant did submit a full application based on our recommendation to do so after we became aware that they were holding classes in the space. The studio plans or has 2 instructors teaching classes with, from what we understand, 10 kids per class. Their hours of operation, as they've noted in their application, is Tuesday through Thursday from 4:30 p.m. to 7 o'clock in the evening, and then on Saturdays from 9:30 to noon. So the parking requirement for this personal service space is 1 parking space per 200 square feet of floor area. They have 1,559 square feet of floor area, which equates to approximately 8 spaces. Again, we're dealing with a shared parking arrangement here where the business shares parking with the other 2 tenants of the building, including Orange Theory Fitness and a cleaner business that is located there. We again received comments from the fire marshal's office. He submitted an email dated August 14th noting no issues with the application. The application was submitted under conformance with Section 1000 of the Darien regulations under our special permit regulations. And this evening we have Sarah Santucci here, who is one of the owners of the business, to present some more details of the business and to answer any questions that you may have on it.
Fantastic. Sarah, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Nice to see you. How's
Nice to
class
be
going
here.
so far?
Great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're very happy to be a part of Darien so far. Beautiful
Fantastic.
place, yes.
So just tell us a little bit about it. How's everything going? I know it's after the fact. I thought it was a pop-up store, but
Can you just get your name
I'm sorry.
for the record, please?
Sarah Santucci, it's SarahSantucci.
Thank you.
sorry about that.
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
Just tell us about the business, and were you in Darien before? Is this your first location?
No, we have locations in Ridgefield and Westport.
Okay.
So we just teach to all ages, ages 3+, and we just teach practical self-defense. And it's a beautiful little community that we have. Our core value is family, so we work a lot with the younger guys, mostly kids. And we do have adult programs as well. Yeah, we do summer camp and all special events and everything, so it's a beautiful little thing that we got going on. So we're very happy to be a part of Darien so far.
What's your average class size?
So right now our biggest class is 8 to 10. We don't have any more than 10 students at the moment.
In any?
In the class size, yeah.
Is that what you cap the classes at, 10?
Yeah, we usually space apart like that depending on age group.
Okay. And then there's spaces between classes? Are they back to back to back, or is there?
As far as like a gap between
Yes.
time frame, there is no gap, no.
So one class starts at 9, and the other class comes in at 10, and the other one comes in at 11?
Some of our classes are half hour, some of them are 45 minutes.
Okay. So once the 45 minutes is up, the other class is already there waiting?
Yeah, and usually being that we mostly work with like ages 7 to 10, it's usually a drop-off situation. So a lot of parents actually aren't staying for the class. They drop off and go and come pick up.
And how many spaces are in the entire parking lot? I remember at the very beginning.
Pretty sure there's
Our theory
25.
was tight.
You think 25?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not really 100% if that's accurate because I don't think that's including the handicap spot. There is another back parking lot, but it's literally separate, so it can't be included in that 25, so. But we sometimes will park back there. I've parked back there, and I know Orange Theory primarily uses that lot.
Is that the lot that's in the office park behind you?
Yeah, you can't, there's no
Right.
access from our lot.
Okay, that's Fletcher's lot.
Fletcher's lot at 320, 330 Boston Post Road. There's office buildings back there. And there is an area where you come out the side, which almost looks like it's part of this
Right.
property.
Yeah, it does.
So it works out
looks-
well for employees who
Yeah.
know where it is, yes?
Yes, yeah. Mhm.
And Fletcher's never had a problem with parking. I think there used to be EMT trucks in there.
Yeah, when John Vaccaro used to own this property, and I
Right.
spoke with both Nick Fletcher and John Vaccaro, and it works well for both groups.
Right, okay, fantastic. Anything else you want to add? You good?
No?
Very good, no, pretty straightforward. Jamie, any questions for this one?
No, good.
I'm all set.
Adam?
All set?
Fantastic. Would anyone in the general public like to speak to this application? Seeing none, I think it's very similar to what we approved 2 weeks ago, which is a Darien Arts Center dance studio across the street. We just went over class size and only one class at a time, there's no spacing, but I think their class size was up to 12 or 16 or even 24 kids. This is a
Mhm.
third of the size.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that said, I would entertain a motion to close. George makes a motion, Amy makes a second. All in favor? Fantastic. You're all set.
Thank you so much
We'll
for
decide on
your
this pretty
time.
soon and then draft up a resolution, let you know.
Thank you, absolutely. Have a good evening.
You're welcome, thank you. All right, next item up. Special permit application number 339 PL 24-125. Kempo Karate of Darien LLC, the head of the Time 2 LLC at 408 Boston Post Road. Proposed to establish a new 1,485 plus or minus square foot martial arts facility within the first floor of space formerly occupied by a hair salon. The 0.34 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the southeast side of Boston Post Road, approximately 130 feet northeast of its intersection with Old Kings Highway North, and it's shown on Assessor's map number 32 as lot 21 in the DB Design Business Zone. This is the little building that's next to Roy's Restaurant on one side,
That's correct.
and on the other side is Nina's Pizza, or Nino's Pizza?
Nino's Pizza, yes.
Nino's Pizza.
It's in the lot with Nino's.
Same about it. I park in this lot when I go to Roy's for dinner and walk across the grass. It sounds like you are,
Move the chain.
yeah, they do. The
Yeah.
chain was an issue for a while.
Mm.
It almost hurt my car once because I didn't see
It was
it.
supposed to stop.
Yeah, it's supposed to stop before the chain.
Okay.
But it sounds like you're in contract to buy the building, so congratulations. And you're across the street now
Thank
above Complete Angler, I think?
Actually, right above where the Darien Arts Center is
That's
going.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Why don't you state your name for the record?
Yeah.
For our court reporter?
It's Michael Nahan. Last name is Nahan.
Thank you.
Sure.
So you're nervous about the kids underneath you going to create noise?
Actually, I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
said if they're playing the music too loud, we're gonna work on our stomps. Like, it's gonna be perfect. Yeah.
So just tell us a little bit about your idea. Is the studio bigger than the old one, smaller than the old one?
It's slightly smaller. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, basically just to build it out to use it as the martial arts studio. Kind of covered the same amount of ground, with the person before.
Great.
It's very similar operation. So
Okay. Do we know how many parking spaces are on this lot? And what's the same parking ratio, right? So they need,
That's right, yeah, this is another personal service use under our regulation, so it requires one parking space per 200 square feet of floor area. Michael is working with about, just under 1,500 square feet of floor area, so that equates to roughly 8 spaces. We don't have, the lot isn't striped currently, so we don't have a definitive number of parking spaces, but we can say that it's quite a few more than 8 parking spaces.
right?
And as Michael mentioned, they'll be relocating from their current studio space at 537 Post Road. From what we understand, and speaking with Michael, that he's the sole instructor for the business. And his classes generally consist of anywhere from 10 to 12 students per class, and between 30 minutes and 60 minutes for classes, depending on the age group that he's working with or training. And then he's indicated in his application materials that the hours of operation of the business are from 4:30 to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and from 9:30 to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Yeah, and then any other questions that
And what was your average class size again? Did you say that?
It's like 10 to 12, you know.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like a little bit bigger. I don't have a fixed schedule where people have to lock into days, so it's kind of like flex. Usually people settle in on the same days that they're going to attend like every week, but every once in a while some people who couldn't come on Monday will come on Tuesday, and so there'll be a few more. But yeah, that's
So you
roughly
have,
it.
instead of having 11, typically you have 12 or 13 because 2
Yeah,
other dudes
yeah.
showed up.
Mhm.
Okay. And I bet you Dallas Donuts, the old nail salon, had 5 chairs at least with 2 people there, so that would be 10 people.
I'm not sure, Michael, do you know how many chairs were in existing?
No, you.
No, I mean,
don't
I've been
think
in
he was going to that hair
a
salon.
few
No.
yeah. I wasn't going. Yeah.
Great. There you go. Parking's fine, it's personal service use, you want to buy the building. Do you have spacing between your classes also?
I do, actually.
You do?
I think they don't, but we put in a 15-minute gap to kind of alleviate the, traffic coming in and trying to go out at the same time. So
Okay.
we would maintain that.
I just out of curiosity, do you have issues if people like me park in your lot when I go to Rory's at 10
Totally.
o'clock at night?
Yeah.
You do have an issue, you don't, is that okay?
It would probably be an issue if it was during the class times, if we were like at full capacity. But I mean, we have other plans, like with the parking lot. We're probably going to come back before you guys and before the architectural review board and the building department and all that stuff. And we're looking to do something a little extra with that. So when it's all said and done, there shouldn't be too much of an issue.
So you might do outdoor classes or something like that is what you're thinking maybe?
No, it'd be more like expanding the parking that's there,
gotcha.
and doing a little extra with the renovation. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like Vibe, they don't do outdoor classes, or they do outdoor classes, but they're regulated kind of sort of?
Right, Vibe is the corner of Tokenique Road and 5 Mile River Road, and there was some issues with outdoor classes. They did some during COVID, but we've said you can't have outdoor classes.
Okay, got it.
And Michael has talked to us generally about doing some redevelopment of the site, which may include some additions to the building, and like Michael said, reconfiguration of the parking lot. So that's not something the commission is considering at this time, but down the road in another 6-8 months, it's possible the commission may see another application regarding this property.
You probably go up 35 feet there, right?
28, I think.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
Specific answer. Guy knows. He's buying it, he's gotta know. Any questions, Amy?
How long have you been operating across the street?
Since 2011.
Okay, so you have a quite established business then.
Yes. Yeah, we've been here for a while.
George?
So,
Sir? Adam?
I have to ask, is there a Cobra Kai, Miyagi-Do
Totally.
between the
Yeah.
two?
It's funny. I will leave it at no comment, but I'm familiar with Legacy. Yeah.
You guys are like going to be basically neighbors. They're 2 doors down.
Yes.
more or less.
Well, the overall owner of the Legacy Martial Arts business franchise, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I actually taught him, and I believe Sarah, not her specifically, but her mom, who was working at the time. So yeah, there is some history there.
Nice.
But he's not in a butter within 100 feet, so
Other than that,
we're
no.
good. Yeah,
Some people like the Jets, some people like the Giants.
exactly.
They both play well.
Yeah.
Good.
We're good. Would anybody in the audience like to speak to this application of the general public? You don't have to be in the audience. Anything I missed, Fred?
I don't think so.
All righty, with that said or not said, entertain a motion to close. Adam makes a motion, I think Mike made the second. All in favor? Fantastic. All right, so, yeah, I know, I was thinking the same thing. We'll deliberate this pretty soon and then get back to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Where's my next one? Yeah, there it is. All right, next item up on the agenda, special permit application number 338 PL 24-121, Fox Hill Construction at 1350 Boston Post Road, LLC, 1350 Boston Post Road, proposed to establish a new 300 plus minus square foot home improvement contractor's office within the second floor space of a building presently occupied by C&J Tire Repair. The 0.37 plus or minus acres subject property is located on the east side of Boston Post Road, approximately 110 feet north of its intersection with Thorndal Circle, and shown on Assessor's map number 63 as lots 10, 22, and 23 in the service business SB zone and the residential 1/3 zone in the rear. This is a building that is next to Shake Shack, and I think on the other side of the building is a gas station.
That's correct.
And it sounds like you want to put a second floor. It's just an office on the second floor. Pretty straightforward. Can you state your name for the record for the court report?
Nick Frate, Frate. So, yep.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Pretty simple, just an existing room on the second floor of a building that just want to take my home office and move it into the building so that I'm not at home, because most of my business is down here, and being at home, eating snacks out of the pantry all day long, it doesn't work. But so, pretty simple. It's not an attractive place for me to bring clients. It's just a place for me to literally set up a computer, a plan desk, and have a home base here. So
you work with Bob Calvi?
So Bob and I were partners, but a little bit of an age difference. So we split the company up. He's slowing down, whereas I'm trying to ramp up a little bit.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so we still work together. We're, do mutual projects, and he does all the excavation work. So we're still together.
I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's 300 square feet. There's stairs that goes up there. The building department had no issues. Anything you want to add, Fred, before we go?
The building department did not comment on this application. We did receive comments from the fire marshal's office dated August 26th, where he noted no issue with the application. We do consider this use a home improvement contractor under our regulations. It's specifically defined as home improvement contractors, home improvement suppliers, and other similar service contractors. So that's what we're putting this use under in terms of office space within the service business zone, where professional offices wouldn't otherwise be permitted in this zone. Nick is dealing with about plus or minus 300 square feet of floor area, 1 to 2 employees there, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, basically from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. is what Nick represented in the application. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else on the second floor?
No.
I didn't think so. That's where I get
It used to be, the whole building used to be Darien Auto for
Yeah.
many years.
Many years, yeah.
And that was kind of their paperwork
Yeah, storage area.
storage area.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I own the building, so I rented it to C&J with the thought in my mind that I would put my office up there.
Oh,
So
good for you.
I kept that little 10% section for
That's where I
myself.
used to get my emissions test.
Oh yeah, I got rid of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's just tires.
Yeah, cool. It's pretty simple. So it can't be professional office use. That's why we're calling it a construction office.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Questions?
Do we need to address the comments that Bob Buck had?
Bob Bush?
Yeah, like
Need drawings
of
with
the
the pros.
proposal for egress, separation between uses.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I'm not sure about the separation because I don't think there's any other use on the second floor, but
Yeah, I was asking about the staircase.
do we need to see a drawing of it?
So that would be handled at the building permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep it open, so I'm hoping we don't
No.
need to.
Right.
Or else he would have to draw it on the napkin and submit to us right now.
Right.
Yeah. When they file for a building permit to do the construction
Yeah,
work.
yeah, just
Then we gotta make
You
sure
know
we
what
can get
Bob's
in
gonna be
there.
looking for
Yeah,
in
for sure.
terms of fire, probably
Yeah.
fire separation. would be my
Exactly.
guess.
Yeah, so I can go see Bob and just ask him what he needs. Seriously.
Because you might need a building permit depending on what you're doing, but.
Right, yeah, not really. I mean, the office is there. I'm literally putting a desk in it, but whatever he needs.
And again, we're dealing with a little bit of a shared parking situation here. The C&J Tire Repair technically requires 14 parking spaces for the use. And just the limited square footage for Nick's office space would be no more than 1 or 2 required parking spaces.
How many are there now?
So it looks like, there's probably roughly somewhere between 17 and 20 spaces
Right.
there now.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're okay with the parking allocation.
Yeah, I think people from Shake Shack also park there.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing. Park at Rory's, park there.
Right.
Shake Shack. Any questions, Jamie? Mike? Adam, you good?
Yep.
Everybody good? All right, fantastic. Anyone in the audience like to speak to this application? We're flowing through this stuff. With that said or not said, entertain a motion to close. Amy makes a motion. I think George made the second. All in favor? Well said.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys. Have a good
Good
night.
luck. Next item up for bid. Next item, flood step prevention application number 422A, also known as PL 24-124. Dariusz Lesniewski at 141 West Avenue, proposed to raise the existing residence to the foundation and construct a new single-family dwelling and perform late site development activities within a regulated area, including the removal of the detached garage on the southwestern portion of the property, installation of stormwater management. The 0.17 plus minus acre subject property is located on the southeast side of West Avenue, approximately 290 feet northeast of its intersection with Old Parish Road, and is shown on Assessor's map number 39 as lot number 103 in the R1/3 zone. This is a property that's directly across the street from the scout cabin.
Yeah.
Now, we saw this a while ago, approved it. I thought it was for a different person that we approved it for.
No, it was Darius
Okay.
back in May 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why are we seeing it again? It got a variance then, or didn't get a variance then, or does it need a variance?
Doesn't need a variance, got EPC approval because it's adjacent to Stony Brook in the back.
Great.
Went to planning and zoning because it's in the flood zone adjacent to Stony Brook. Darius wanted to get started, but then we realized the permit had expired. So he's here with I think, Fred, the exact same application as was submitted about 2 years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
So what we'd recommend is you incorporate the prior file in the record,
Okay.
which you can certainly pull up online, which gives you the various details of what they're gonna, Darius is gonna take down the existing detached garage in the
Yes,
back.
it's exactly the same like used to be last time because I got wrong information.
Hold on one second. Just state your name for the record.
Okay, my name is Dariusz Lesniewski. I'm homeowner of the 141 West Avenue.
Fantastic.
And
It's spelled here.
Lesniewski.
So that 10 times fast. And you laughed at me when I couldn't pronounce it.
No, I did not.
Thank you.
So the detached garage, which is inches from Stony Brook, is gonna
Right.
go.
Yes.
The new house will be brought down, demolished, down
Yes,
to
to the foundation.
Right, you've seen the demolition sign is up. And then Darius is going to rebuild the house exactly at the same location.
Yes.
The garage will go, that's where they're gonna put in a new drainage system. Sediment and erosion controls in the back
Yeah.
by Stony Brook. EPC approved it with conditions in terms of plantings along Stony Brook. The new house will be about, I think, 7 feet higher.
Parking's
I-
underneath.
No parking.
No garage,
I mean parking, no garage.
no garage.
Well, I thought there was 2 garage doors in front.
So they'll have at-grade parking, which will kind of be behind the house. So he's shown 2 spaces, pretty much where the garage is now.
Okay.
Those will be the 2 conforming parking spaces that meet the front and side yard setback. A little tricky to get in and out. You might be having people turn around in the backyard a little
Yes.
bit. If we were, Fred and I were out there, so, you gotta wait for some traffic to pass on West Avenue. New construction will meet the flood regulations. The AC units will be elevated. Any generator will be elevated. I can't remember what comments we may have received, Fred, on this. From Joe Canis signed off relative to stormwater management as part of the prior application in 2022.
Right, there's 22.
Yeah,
So
so-
did any laws change between 22 and 24, and no plans change between 22 and 24?
No, no
It's all the
changes.
same, right?
No changes.
So we went through this whole thing last time, raising the house foot above the elevation, and the whole thing, there was a big flooding problem over there. And so now, we approved it back then, it's the same thing for now.
Yeah. Back in 2022, Darren Ostafine of Department of Public Works, the Assistant Director, was still doing the Commission's peer reviews at that time. So we've included his comments in the record for this current application, and I did reach out to Joe Canis today, and he submitted an email dated today, September 24th, just noting that he's reviewed the information submitted in connection with this application, as well as the previous Planning and Zoning Commission and EPC applications for the property and the plans. He notes the plans do not appear to have changed in any substantive way from the previous approval, therefore I have no further comments. So Joe is endorsing the project as well.
You didn't email that other letter today, did you?
You said this evening.
Even at 6:30.
Oh, I thought I got it.
Yeah, so the-
I thought I printed all this stuff. Okay,
Right.
that's fine, we're good.
It's been uploaded to OpenGov.
Yeah, it's correct.
Any questions for anybody?
And I'll just point out, on the prior resolution, there were no really conditions of approval outside of the boilerplate that we put in everything. So there's nothing really special about this or unique that we addressed. So it's very
Yeah.
straightforward.
Yep. George?
I'm just trying to remember this one a little bit, but will there be any new fencing
No.
on either side? No? Okay, good. Then I'm not thinking of the same one.
Yeah, I remembered this one. I remember it didn't need a variance because you're not even taking down the foundation, they're keeping the foundation.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, no variance is needed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the old file here.
The EPC did require a fairly substantial planting plan directly adjacent to the Stony Brook, and Darius included information as part of the file relative to the plans for the new plantings that'll go in directly adjacent to the Stony Brook.
But did that planning plan change from 22?
No, it did not.
So we're going to incorporate the old file into this one?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the reason he doesn't need to go back to EPC is that was a 5-year approval,
Yeah.
so that's still valid.
Fantastic, okay. Would anybody in the audience like to speak to this application? Seeing none? You're good?
I'm good.
Look for a motion to close.
Yep.
Adam makes a motion. I think Mike makes the second. All in favor? Thanks, Darius. Thanks
Thank
for
you very
coming
much.
Thank you.
out. Good luck this time. What is this one? Last one. Last item for the public
think so,
hearing.
no.
Land filling and regrading application number 575 PL-24-97. Michael and Claire Shaughnessy at 117 Hollow Tree Ridge Road. Proposal to construct an addition to the west side of an existing single-family residence, inclusive of a 2-car garage and accessory dwelling unit on the second level. Construction of a replacement deck, reconfiguration of the existing driveway, construction of retaining wall, and to perform related site development activities, including the regrading of the property to accommodate the improvements. This 0.53 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the north side of Hollow Tree Ridge Road, approximately 80 feet northeast of its intersection with Miles Road. It's shown as Assessor's map number 47 is lot 157 in the R1/3 zone. So we saw this application, a similar application on September 3rd as a general meeting item for an accessory dwelling unit, and it was effectively approved. But now we have to approve basically the regrading of the property. So in our old file, we had stuff in there relative to this. Is anyone going to present this to us?
Yeah, so the applicant's representative, Arpita, is, from what I understand, en route currently. But yeah, she's not here quite yet.
You want to move on to something else? And come
So
back to it?
it's up to you if you want to, if you just want to move forward with the application, or we can come back to it.
We'll come back to it. If she's driving on the way here, might as well give her 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So we'll just leave that one where it sits. We'll close the public hearing for now. And then
How do you do
We
that?
suspend the
You
public
can
hearing.
suspend it, or you close it.
table it, right?
Table it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not close it, right.
Suspend
You're right.
it.
Suspend it.
Do we need to vote to do that?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No, you just move to the next agenda item.
But you're going out of the public hearing into the general meeting.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're done with the,
Public hearing for
do we know how far away she is?
She lives in Darien.
Yeah, she said she'd be here slightly before 8 o'clock, so.
It's now.
Yeah, now it's slightly before 8 o'clock.
Let's suspend the public hearing
Yeah, that's fine.
and go into the general meeting. Yeah, no one's gonna
Oh,
come
they'll complain, George.
Oh, really? Okay.
There you
Oh,
go.
well.
All right, first item in the, Amy's still here, right? First item in the general meeting is deliberations only on the following application. Business site plan number 104C is in Charlie, special permit application 133A is in Apple, flood stem prevention application 439A, land filling regrading application number 558A, also known as PL 24-77, 1852 Darien 1 LLC, Cloud 10 Smart Wash at 54 Boston Post Road. Proposals is redevelop the property formerly occupied by Bertucci's Restaurant as a new car wash, including a 5,150 plus minus square foot building with wash bay and 34 exterior self-service detailing spaces and five employee parking spaces, and perform late state development activities within a regulated area, including installation of stormwater management and on-site landscaping. The hearing closed on September 10th. Decision deadline is November 14th, 2024. So this application was submitted maybe like a year ago or 9 months ago, then it was withdrawn, then it was resubmitted again, so it's a brand new application. At one point in time, they thought about putting a traffic light. They're not going to do a traffic light in there now. We had a lot of testimony from, I think their consultant was SLR, that did the traffic study, which was one of the main issues there. RKF?
Mhm.
Okay. And then we had Hardesty and Hanover review it. The traffic was basically signed off by all the traffic engineers. The local traffic authority, which is basically our police department and police commission, they submitted a letter signing off on the traffic and the issues coming in and out of the property. The architectural review board signed off on the project. They had some changes to it, and some other issues that we can talk about later or next. I think the things that we have to just make sure we're in the right on the same page on is the hours of operation, the lighting, and maybe the noise. I guess we talked about noise a little bit. And then the one item that we're going to make sure we put in the resolution that they signed off on, if the state does come in someday and put in a traffic light, they're going to move their driveway to line up with the traffic light. So those are basic things. It's a big piece of property. There's a lot of queuing internal to the site. For the cars, I think there's 2 lanes of queuing. There's 34. I think there's 34 or 40 queuing spaces to put a lot of cars in there. It's all fully automated. There's not going to be that many employees, and we didn't hear too much public comment on this one at all.
No. Chamber of Commerce letter.
Chamber of Commerce signed off on it. They had a lot of sign-offs on it. A bunch of neighbors sent in letters saying, "Great idea."
Yep.
They didn't live anywhere close to the property, but they did.
The land trust behind it, say
Yes.
it's good too?
Yeah.
Yes, relative to the landscaping, yes.
Jamie, any questions on this one? We'll let you go first.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
Mike? Adam?
I think the only thing, and we've never done it on another application, is like the nighttime lighting, because if it's gonna be kind of a modern looking building, you gotta assume there's gonna be some bright lights on that thing.
No, we have done it on other applications, like,
The total lumens of like how bright they can be.
right.
That would be the one thing I would think of as kind of toning it down a little bit at night, as much as we can, because once the hours of operation are done, it doesn't need to be lit up like a Christmas tree all night like a gas station or something, because it is right off the highway. It's right there, so there's gonna be a sign for it too somewhere, I'm sure. So we just kind of want to be cognizant of that, but other than that,
Yeah.
nothing really.
We did something similar to that for BMW and H&L Chevrolet.
I think my only concern would be there, and the applicant raised it, was safety concerns, right? It's a good spot for a cop to hang out, it's a good spot, like, I'd kind of want general safety lighting
Right.
to be on all night, just
Yeah.
'cause it's a, you know.
No, I mean like the lighting on the building. This the street light, the little lamps in the parking lot to keep it illuminated.
I
That's
think
fine.
whatever is necessary to keep it
Yeah.
safe. I mean, there's already graffiti, there's already people breaking into the building that's there, like it's not a bad area of town, but it's, you know, you leave any part of town unattended
Right.
and unlit, people do bad things.
Yeah.
Is it
The,
specified in the ARB approval, that one, the lighting?
ARB gets into the design of the light
But then
poles
not
and the fixtures.
Right.
They don't get into the lumens, and they don't get into the height of the
I'll
pole.
check that, Jamie. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'll check that.
But is it part of the design of the building that it has a wash of light on the,
That's what
I'm
I
trying to
was, yeah.
recall my memory, is there a
There is.
light
They had-
They
wash?
had
They
like a
have-
nighttime rendering of it. It was like big bright lights.
It's
on it.
uplighting.
Uplighting,
Yeah,
is what it
it's
was.
like, so it washes on the sides of the building, and that's, I'm guessing, part of the design. So, but maybe to your point that it doesn't need to be,
Great.
yeah. Well, clearly they're not having that kind of uplighting, accent lighting during the day, because.
It's just at night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nighttime.
Yeah. Okay. You're good?
Yep.
I'm still good.
You're still good?
Other than that, fine.
Okay.
Traffic was good. Fire marshal signed off on that weird turnaround.
Yep. And we moved the bus stop with
Yeah.
the DOT or CT Transit, moved the bus stop to help them out.
Sign down.
Anything else, George?
I just have to express my skepticism about the traffic flow here. If it is as intense as they want in their queuing, that's a lot of cars flowing apparently for several hours a day. And they have to be counting on I-95, bringing them in and taking them out. And I think that's the worst stretch of Route 1 in town, as far as I'm concerned, with that split of having to get on the highway and whatnot. I understand their problem with the traffic light. That was unfortunate. And so I worry about that. We'll see where I end up on that. Because at the same time, there are two other car washes right within, I don't know, a half a mile or so.
One's directly across the street.
Yeah, so I don't know what the impact, but it's their market, they gotta figure that out. But that's all I would say at this point. I don't know that there's anything we can do about it, but I am skeptical of the fact that there's going to be a negative impact on Route 1 from all that traffic.
We hear the consultants, and they tell us what they said. We don't necessarily have to agree with the consultants.
Right.
That's in the state law.
Yeah, I certainly am not. I mean, you can look at a book for how many trips there are given a particular use in a particular hour of the day, but I think we know this town best, and so I worry about it.
Yeah, no, you're not alone. You're not alone.
What is the trigger process where if it is, in fact, warrants a relook at that traffic light, who brings that the call to action? They bring as the business owner that's most affected? Does the municipality
I
bring?
think it starts with the local traffic authority.
So the local traffic authority
And they
would appeal to the
complain to
state
state.
and say, please relook at this,
Because it's a state road.
warrant this light.
Right,
here.
so it's a state road, so the state
Okay.
has the state has to control the road, but like relative to,
I guess the point
Like-
is
like-
then is it beholden upon the municipality of Darien to prove the burden that we need a light now? Like all the expense that this applicant went through to try to do their studies. Then is it our burden then to fix it?
And it's not our cost to fix it, I know that.
Okay.
Right, but what they probably would do is do traffic counts and put those rubber lines in the road, but that's all gonna be paid for by the state, not by us. But if the local, is it local or legal? I always forget.
I think it's legal.
I think it's legal.
Legal?
Yeah, I think it's legal.
I think so.
If the legal traffic authority puts up, says state, look at it, then the state will come
Okay.
in, put those rubber
Because
things
I
in the
don't want to
road.
approve something that's going to become a hornet's nest for us to have to spend money to fix as a municipality.
I mean,
And
that's-
we hope it's not going to be that, based on all of the studies that have been provided.
What triggers the police to look at that? Just overwhelming number of
I'm
complaints?
betting it's accident.
Oh, just some number of accidents, after there's 2 or 3 accidents.
And
they start-
injuries that happen.
And possibly volume as well. I know Don Anderson, former Chief Don Anderson would talk about, he's been trying to get lights at locations for years and years and years. And then suddenly, sometimes DOT just comes in and says, great, you're good to go. And sometimes it just keeps flailing away at it. So it's certainly something that, I'm sure once the Norwalk businesses come in,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that could be an
Yeah.
effect
Yeah.
where the DOT would say, oh, yeah, we got
that one wrong.
I mean,
Worse will be
Eric
another
backs
tomorrow.
up on Costco already.
I mean, the one, and it's all along the same lines, but when all of a sudden there was a crosswalk that was put basically out in front of Duchess, that goes across the Post Road, that started years and years and years ago, and Don Anderson signed off on it years and years ago, and why it appeared, he had no idea.
Yep.
So we don't
It
know
was just
who
that- I
applied
remember
for
that.
it, we don't know who applied for it, it just
With no signage.
came on his desk
Yep.
one day and said, we want to put a
Coming out
crosswalk in.
with our can of paint.
With a can of paint, and somebody put it in, and nobody knows why.
Great.
Maybe Fletcher didn't tell anybody, I don't know, but
Still don't know.
nobody admitted to it. But I think the town appeals to the state.
Yep.
The state looked at it,
Okay.
and it doesn't
Okay.
cost us anything.
All right. Then it is where it is. Yeah.
Now, the question that I had was relative to hours of operation. I think they want to stay up until 9 o'clock at night to wash cars. That seems a little bit late to me. I don't know who gets their car washed locally there. Maybe they want to get people off the interstate. I don't know any other businesses that are open up along that strip that late at night. But that was just something that jumped off the page to me. And the other thing, I don't know if we can do anything about it, is relative to the sound and noise of those vacuums. That's gonna be loud, and you're gonna hear it. And the applicant said that the machines are on idle. There's 2 machines, they're on idle for, whenever the thing's open, and as soon as one person turns on a vacuum, it goes from idle to full blast. And it's gonna be a loud feature, so. We didn't get any sound studies on those things. We never asked for them, they never submitted them.
We were reassured that they'll be quieter than anything we've ever run across.
Right, yeah, but there's one of the units is 16, it has 16 vacuums attached to it, and the other one I think has got 18, whatever 34 divided by 2 is. And if you ever go to any of the car washes, there's
I know.
2 hoses.
We did have Hot Chicken
those
do
things.
a sound study on the other side of the street,
That was for the,
idling of the cars.
it was for idling of the cars, and it was for, what was the other
It's up
thing?
to a resident.
The neighbors.
Yeah, or it backs up to the
Yeah.
It's
interstate.
actually up to
Yeah.
75 and
We had a sound study also for Darien BMW. And if you go to Darien BMW today, right now, only sound you hear is I-95. It's really loud, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's just a concern of mine. Does anybody care about the hours of operations? And they want to stay till 9? Is that what it is?
I think that's right.
I guess
I
there
can
would be
confirm.
illumination in any event, whether it's open or not,
Yeah.
till 9
Yeah.
o'clock. Anyway, so.
I imagine that 9 o'clock is probably the Uber Eats driver from Chipotle across the street cleaning out their car on the way home, or somebody like that.
Yeah, me too.
So it makes sense. It's not like it would be, I mean, I could see it being used late at night, or late-ish at night. People coming home from work, soccer game, it's wet, dog just threw up.
teenager getting the vomit out of the car.
Yeah.
What are you doing that long night?
It's kind of really look at that.
Yeah,
You're wrecking the machine, that's for sure.
Oh, boy.
I just think it's no different than any other business. I don't know why we would.
I don't know any other business, I don't know any other business in town that's open that late.
Well, all the gas
Except for
stations
the
are
bars.
open. All the restaurants are open.
The restaurants are, I don't know if gas stations are, but
I think that mobile's 24 hours,
Yeah.
or
It's-
at least late night.
Yeah.
one of them's, the only one that's 24 hours in town is Exxon, and they don't stay open 24 hours. That's by Shake Shack.
Then it's not 24 hours.
No, but they have permission to stay open 24 hours.
Not exciting.
But I think, that, I mean, you're between a used car lot, 95 and Post Road. I
Yeah.
don't think you're
Yeah.
really
Okay.
affecting the town.
And then the lighting, they talked about putting those things on timer. The only difference was, or it's motion sensors. The only difference was when we compared it to H&L Chevrolet or BMW, those lots in the back are fenced in. And this one would be not. So if someone hopped the fence at BMW, the lights would come off. This one, it's not gonna be like that. Does anybody care about that?
Based on the location where it's wedged in with 95, and there's so much noise coming off of 95, I just, and activity there, my concern is more George's about the traffic is the thing that is most concerning to me, about whether, when Wegmans comes online and Target, and then it's gonna be interesting to see how that all stacks up.
All right, so it sounds like we're drafting a a resolution to approve the application, but is there anything special we want these guys to put in the resolution relative to any of the items we're talking about?
Other than just their,
Curb cut.
the curb cut changing if and when a traffic light comes in that location, for sure.
Okay?
Yeah,
Good.
and an acknowledgement that they're gonna pay for, site readjustment to,
Great.
right, and I guess Jeremy, would they come back to us for that?
I think what the commission could say in its resolution is the prior plan, the prior application which was withdrawn, had a design
Yeah.
at that intersection. That design
Would be acceptable.
would be acceptable to the
Yeah.
commission.
So they don't have to apply again.
They don't have to come back.
But
Yeah.
that design is
That
not
was-
part
that
of this
was-
application, so
it
we
was
don't have it
withdrawn.
referenced in the
That
file,
was
so we
withdrawn.
can't include it now.
No, but I thought the commission incorporated that prior file.
Did we? Okay.
Fred, you're.
Yes. The
All right,
commission
then it's in
will
there.
incorporate
Okay.
the file.
Okay, then we
The
can.
one that
Yeah.
was withdrawn.
Yeah, because they didn't redo all their documents.
No.
So I think Mike's right. If we say
Then we can reference it.
that
Reference
applicant's
that.
expense,
Curb cut location. Yeah.
prior application can be implemented.
It's really applies site plan, the
Site plan,
initial
you're right.
initial site plan with the traffic plan.
Yep.
The only other thing I want to make sure we add is these facilities do sell, right? So signage is going to change, and we did this on, I keep calling it Darien Self-Storage, but it's not. If Darien Self-Storage sold to Storage Post or CubeSmart,
Right.
their logo's red. And one's red as can be, and the other one's green as can be. If these guys sell it to somebody else, we want to make sure that they, any,
That would
major
have to
changes.
go through ARB, correct?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Darien Self-Storage, that blends in with the landscape, but if that was a CubeSmart and it was blue and red, you could see it from Stanford.
But if they sold it, wouldn't they have to come back to us for a new special permit?
Nope.
Not about the site plan and the regrading, but just,
The only reason why they'd come back is if they changed, I mean, you wouldn't even know a building sold. You'd have no idea,
Right.
you know?
I
You know
guess so.
Trader Joe's sold?
Yeah, if they put in a different something else there, then they'd have to come back.
This sign Cloud 10 would come down and a new sign would go up. That would go in front of ARB, but you don't want them changing the facade of the building to
I mean,
something
if
that's
the
different.
primary use changed, and.
Then they come back.
Then,
Yeah,
then of
yeah.
course,
Right.
yeah.
Or if they add a use like, Quick Lubes or something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole different kettle of fish.
But we don't need to reference that need that they would, to come back for new signage or
That's
whatever,
a
because it's
default.
already the rule, right?
Yeah, just look to see what we did for Darien Self-Storage or Hollow Tree Self-Storage, see if
Okay.
there's anything special in there. I just remember that distinctively. All right, so draft up an approval of that thing?
Yep, we'll try to have something ready for either October 1st or October 8th.
Fantastic. Okay, I think we just had an applicant arrive. So let's go back to the public hearing, and I'm just going to reread what we were talking about earlier. The item on the agenda we're going to address right now is landfilling and regrading application number 575 PL-24-97, Michael and Claire Shaughnessy at 117 Hollow Ridge Road. I already read everything else relative to that, so I'll have to read this one again. We originally saw this, like I said, on September 3rd for the ADU, and there's some regrading and whatnot to the property to the front to be able to build this new garage with the ADU on top of it and add the deck. So welcome. If you could just state your name again for the record, and we'll get this moving.
Yeah, good evening. Arpita Muchal, representing Claire and Michael Shaughnessy for 117 Hollow Tree Ridge Road.
Fantastic. And you're the architect, right? Okay. So can you just go over one more time with regards to the regrading of the property and how we're handling that? Because I think you're digging down to put in the foundation of the garage and lowering the garage level to a point. So we're going to have to deal with water going off the road into the garage and not flooding out the garage and whatnot.
So we had always planned on doing a French drain in front of the garage, but it wasn't on the civil engineer's drawing, so we revised and we submitted a drawing that shows that there is a French drain here. Additionally, so that we could kind of get a quick approval, what the engineer also did is take the driveway and put it so that the driveway goes into the Caltex now. Originally, we did not have any Caltex on the site. So we've added Caltex to take at least the driveway portion and put it in there. Just the front driveway that's going into the garage. The side driveway right now, because it slopes back towards the parking spot, we actually are doing it so that there's swales that are 6 feet wide and about 6 inches deep that will allow for any water runoff that happens in their backyard to percolate, and we're allowing it to go there. So that's why we had the side small retaining walls on the side of the parking spot so that the water is directed where it needs to go and we can grade around it accordingly. So I think we got the final from the engineers this evening that there was no additional information required.
We got an email from Joe Canis today. Today's 24th. And last review number 3 is the last one.
There were a number of back and forths between Joe Canis and the applicant. He had originally submitted comments dated September 10th, which the applicant responded to, and then he submitted comments dated September 19th, which the applicant responded to, and then Mr. Canis submitted his 3rd round of comments today, September 24th, and then a 4th set of comments also today on the 24th.
Yeah, I didn't see those, but they're in OpenGov.
Yeah, so those have been uploaded to OpenGov, and I emailed those to the commission early this evening as well.
Do you want a copy of that?
Sure, if you don't mind. I want to read the last, thank you very much. It says renewal 4. All right, let's just get to the.
Yeah, so just very quickly, Joe Canis had signed off on the drainage aspects of the plan. He had no issues remaining relative to stormwater drainage as a result of the proposal. He just notes, and we note as staff as well, that the only issues that seem to remain that may be problematic to some extent are the width of the driveway. So the width of the driveway between the property line and the addition to the house is roughly 9 feet 9 inches. So very, very tight.
This is 10.
10.9.
Yeah.
It says 10 feet 9 inches on the plan, or 10.9. Of this one?
Is that after the construction of the wall?
The wall's not, yeah, the wall's not on.
It's under 10 feet.
Okay. That must be another-
Right here, this,
Yeah.
So I think originally Joe measured it as 9'9". Our engineer thinks it's closer to 9'6". So I'm going with the 9'6" because always better to be on the safer side.
Okay, what's our parking space? Is it 9 feet in a parking space?
yes.
So you have
So
6
it-
inches spare.
Right, so it's roughly 6 inches more than the width of a parking space to, and this essentially, the regulations have no, we have no regulations relative to widths of driveways. So this becomes an issue for the property owner essentially.
You
But-
want to be able to get to the parking space in the back.
Right.
Because we need that parking space for the ADU and everything
And it
else.
can be done, it's just gonna be a very tight, it's gonna be very tight. So that's one of the issues. The second issue that remains in our minds somewhat problematic is the configuration of the parking space at the back of the property relative to the maneuverability of vehicles into and out of that space.
Mhm.
And third, the construction of the retaining wall on the property line, on the southwestern property line. The retaining wall is right on the property line essentially. So
So
we're
that's
going to
probably-
want to make sure that during construction that there's no disturbance of the neighboring property relative to the construction of that wall. It is only 3 feet in height, but at the same time, we don't want the applicant working on the neighboring property owner's property to get that,
So
done.
The Bassett's Goldsmiths were notified on this, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And they had no comments? They didn't reach out? Have you ever spoken to the neighbors, do you know?
Not me personally, but the client and the neighbors have had conversations and
Okay. Do you know if you're gonna have to work on their property?
my conversation with the engineer is that it's actually a few inches away from the property line so that we don't have to necessarily work. And it's just on my drawings, it shows like it's a few inches, like the engineer's drawing shows maybe it's about 6 inches away. I would have to talk to the general contractor to make sure that there's no disturbance on that side
Right.
or get the permission
Right,
of
because
the
if the
neighbor.
neighbors are, if they're.
Exactly.
If the owner and the neighbors are buddies, it's probably not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, so far, you guys have not had any, yeah.
Okay.
And the width of the house,
Mhm.
it can't change at all of the addition because it's driving the garage, the 2-car garage is the
Yeah,
governor.
and then we
on
get
that.
tighter there and, could we do it? Yes, but then the question will be, then our garages are getting tighter and even the upstairs is not very generous. It's pretty,
Mhm.
modest, so I don't want to keep
It's a-
chopping away.
It's a 2-car garage, right?
Mhm.
There's 2 single-car garages, and then both doors are 8 feet wide, right?
Yes.
Right, and how much space is in between the 2 doors?
The garage width is a total of,
It's at least 18 feet, right?
it's 24 feet wide. 18 feet I don't think is a legal garage.
Well, the doors come in, the
Yeah.
stock doors come in 8 and 16.
8 and 9 feet. So most of the time nowadays we are doing 9 feet wide because people end up damaging a lot of garage doors. That's been our experience. So we do 9 feet. So it's a 24 feet wide garage, but then you also have the curb for the foundation wall that will come in as well.
Right, okay.
And the maneuverability on the site,
Mhm.
to the extent that you build it, you do the driveway, they're living there and they say, gosh, this is really tight. We need to expand the approach to that turnaround, either in the back or the front or both. We have no limitations on that, right? For coverage or for anything in our zoning, right? Like say they wanted to make this curve come out, so you kind of had a front on, you're not turning around the side of that building, you are at that point, car is straight on and it runs past. And again, that has to expand, just that they made the decision down the road, you know what, we really want to expand that. There's nothing that would prevent them from doing that?
Well, it's a half-acre site in a 1/3 acre zone, right?
Right, so
And
if you were
you're
to,
allowed to pave over your entire front lawn
Yeah.
if you want to.
if you wanted to widen the curb cut
Yeah.
at the road, that would need
Yeah.
DPW approval.
Yeah.
It would be unusually wide, but I know what you're thinking, which is it's much easier to drive straight in
Yeah.
than to go straight in, around, and up.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe that's one way to help minimize, because what's invariably going to happen is you say, oh, I don't feel like going around and parking in the back. And that's what the ADU regulations were designed to avoid, was
People parking out in the front.
people parking out in the front.
Where you can't park on Birch
Well,
Road.
beyond the setbacks. And in here,
Right, the
they
front
could
yard
be
setback.
parked beyond that setback. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But you can you can put 2 parking spaces in the rear.
So you could asphalt the rear.
They could
Make
put
the
more
rear a lot
asphalt
more
in the rear
accessible.
if they wished, yes.
You could put a basketball court back there on asphalt if you wanted to.
Right, but it certainly could be wider here. You have the proposed Caltech in the way, but there is a way, as Fred mentioned, there is a little wiggle room in the back to make it easier to maneuver to get in and out, because you can't really back out from the backyard.
Yeah.
You know, that would never
Turn
work.
somewhere.
You need room to
You have to
turn
turn
around.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that room to turn around?
Right now, it's a hammerhead.
So there's a T that is being formed, so basically you just, you can go right near the deck and then turn around. But if the commission wants, we can definitely make that a little wider and also pull that turn into the driveway to be closer to the road if that are the concerns. You've already made the parking spot pretty wide so that it's 13 feet right now, the width of the new parking spot. A legal garage would have 2 walls going all the way, and we're talking about like 1.5 foot walls on one side and 1 foot or less on the other side. So 13 feet is a pretty wide spot.
Yeah.
But even so, if we needed to make that T a little wider, we can definitely do that.
The T in the back here you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because there's walls on both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
And same with that's a rock wall on the front.
Yep, there's a wall between the house and a wall.
And this is now 13 feet. And this wall is only 18 feet. One of them is 18 feet. A foot.
But this one can't extend beyond the setback, right? This would need, for the ADU regulations, that parking needs to be within
Yes.
setbacks.
You could bump it out a couple feet here, and I think what Arpita's talking about is extending this wall.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not necessarily to the road, which
Yeah.
No,
would
it
need,
doesn't
It
make
just
sense.
has, by the time you're totally straightened out, you are a straight shot, and you're not trying to make a curve around an edge of a house and approaching a retaining wall. Yeah.
You're gonna end up scraping the passenger
Yeah.
side door on the corner of the new garage. At least my kids would, I know that.
But ultimately, this plan conforms to our regulations, so all those things are good to do, but not a requirement.
Yep. Yep. I just want to make sure that if they have to make an audible when they're in construction, they can say, yeah, we have a solution that doesn't have to come back before us. That's all. That's really what I was trying to uncover.
It's why we wanted to look at half-acre
Right,
proposals.
that's exactly what we're doing.
Yep.
I did want to ask, as to the ADU in the back of the house, right? Is there any access other than exterior?
Stairs?
Yeah,
From the back, no, from the front, there is the second entrance from the front.
so what I'm really thinking of is an ambulance. So if an ambulance wants to get to the ADU, can they
From
go
the
through the
front.
house?
Front
From
door.
the front.
Front door,
They-
yeah.
okay.
They go through this door here.
I actually am a
But you have to,
postie
if
person.
you wanna
Postie.
Yeah, you'd have
I'm a
to.
postie, so.
You'd have to come.
You can use, if you wanna speak, you gotta go.
Claire, you'll have to come in.
I'm very familiar with the ambulance. And
Just
I'm
state your name if you don't mind.
Claire Shaughnessy, I'm the owner of 117 Hollow Tree, and I happen to be a post 53 adult advisor, so.
Say hi to
been-
Dawn for me.
Huh?
Say hi to Dawn for me.
I will. So been doing the driveway and the backups, and the way we designed it is the ambulance would back up into the driveway in the front, and then we could bring the stretcher up from the front to the door on the front entrance, because honestly, for my parents, we talked a lot about it, to do the steps in minimum grade so that we can go up. So we would probably have to stair chair from the door down, but we do that all the time for houses all the time. But I think it's very doable. I agree, we wouldn't be doing the ambulance to the back.
Yeah.
No, yeah, wouldn't, yeah, yep, okay, good, all right.
We love posties. My daughter's a postie.
Your daughter's a pussy?
Kelsey?
Or counting our posties.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys figure that out at the staff level, if we're gonna move this rock wall in the front or the rock wall in the back? Because these are 3-foot high rock walls along the whole, I'm gonna call it the left side of the house. If you want to slide it over or, soften the turn either way.
Yeah.
I thought our impression was we weren't gonna require any of that.
Correct,
Just
correct.
discuss it with them.
Yeah, between staff and the architect and the art can
And
figure it
I'm
out.
already saying we'll move it.
Yeah,
Good.
it sounds like she
Doesn't
wants
hurt
to
to
move
move
it.
that.
All right. Any other questions? Are you okay? Mike, you good? Yeah, I could tell. And I think you guys did your turn. Okay. Anyone in the general public wants to speak to this one? No? Saying none? We're good? Anything we missed?
Nope, we're covered.
Fantastic. All right, entertain a motion to close. Amy makes a motion, George makes a second. All in favor? Thank you very much for your time. We'll deliberate this as soon as we can
Thank
and
you,
get it
guys.
rocking and rolling.
Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Your indulgence coming back.
That's for sure. All right, that's the end of the public hearing for this evening. We're going to jump back into the general meeting, if you don't mind, Karen. Deliberations only on any of the closed items that closed today. You guys want to deliberate these things? It's only 8:30. The Yankees are probably in like the 4th inning.
They are.
I think
Are
that'll be
they?
quick.
I would like to knock some of these things off. All right, first one, first application, Stretch CT1 LLC at Darien Place. They want to put in a stretch zone. Everyone okay with that one? Good?
Yeah.
The only thing, the parking's fine, which is our issue. It's a special permit item. Just make sure that if they do some kind of window dressing, that they go to ARB. Okay, so if staff will please.
Yep.
Please draft an approval of that one. Next one, Legacy Martial Arts. They're buying the building, they're going into Pasta Vita. Pasta Vita was a nice little store. Next door to that building is a dry cleaner, and then there's Orange Theory in there. There's extra parking in the back if you're friends with the Fletchers, whoever owns that property in the back. There's only, I think, 8 kids per class is what they said. 10 kids in a class.
No, that's the second one. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a small, and it's a drop-off thing. It's a
Yeah,
drop-off
I'll
thing.
drop off. Drop my kid off at karate today.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, staff, please draft up an approval of that one.
Huh?
Um,
Not even wait and walk home.
Next item up, Kempo Karate of Darien LLC. They want to buy I could have sworn that was a tennis place for a little while. The new building at 408 Pasta Road next to Rory's.
Oh, wow.
No.
Ahead of time.
They want to buy a new building, for us, new for them.
They get me for that.
They're very similar to the other martial arts. I don't know the difference between karate and martial arts, but there must be some kind of difference. The 2 locations are almost exactly the same size. The second one has a little bit of a bigger class size, and they do space out their classes, is what they say. Any issues on that one? Okay, staff, please draw up a positive resolution for that one. Next one is a 300 square foot office on the 2nd floor of a tire repair place. That was pretty straightforward. He just needs to make sure that the building department signs off on it. I guess they don't necessarily have to get a building permit, just put it on sheetrock, but as soon as they get electrical outlets and whatnot, he's gonna do something.
Yep.
All right. Just approved to Bob Bush and the building department, Mike Beatty, that they can get in and out that
Yep.
set of stairs. Everyone good with that one?
Yeah, it brings up the resolution that Bob's going to be satisfied with.
Yeah. But you can't get a building permit if you don't.
Well, right, but if they don't need a building permit, then.
Right, that's the issue.
I'd still want Bob to sign off on the location.
Right, they might need something.
To make it a condition of approval.
Yep.
Because if you get an electrical permit, Bob doesn't see it, right?
That's correct. That would be
Beatty
just-
sees it, but Bush
Right.
doesn't see it.
But if he just moves in as is, Bob might still have issues because it's a different owner when it was Darien Auto, it was one owner for the whole building. Here you have separate owners, so you might need some
Separate
kind of-
tenancy, yeah.
I believe a change in use also
Right.
triggers, would also trigger the building permit.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Because we're saying it's a change of use because that's office space for a construction contract.
separate
Right,
business.
correct.
So we'll check on that.
Fantastic, okay. Everyone's good with that one, right? With that one condition? The next thing was, across the street from the Scout Cabin, a reapplication from 2022, the same exact thing. There's no changes to anything that they had, there's nothing, we're just, if he came in a year ago, he would have just gotten the year extension. Okay, everyone's good with that? Okay, draft up another proof for that one. And then the last one, relative to 117, we want to talk about that one? Everyone's okay with that? Just deliberate it? So that one, we went over it 2 nights. They want to put an ADU on the second floor of a new garage they're going to build. Canis went back and forth 4 times with his memos. And it looks at the end of the day, I think it says, I was looking for a sentence that says, if it's done according to what I said, he's going to be fine. But it looks like he signed off on every single one.
And then they, during the hearing, said that they would be willing to widen both the back and the front.
The back
To
and
make
front.
maneuverability easier.
Joe had 2 things just as conditions of approval, just note those.
Yeah.
in that
Which
last
ones are there?
paragraph.
Which ones are there?
In that paragraph.
It's been indicated that other smaller elements are forthcoming, such as having a zoning location survey coordinated with the site plan, refer to control, and a revised spot elevation on the architectural verb, comma 16. The smaller elements are not materially changed in design. It could be considered as a condition of approval. There you go. There's your conditional approval.
Exactly, tack that on there.
Joe also recommended that the retaining walls be designed by a structural engineer
Really?
Yeah, the location of the property.
because of the location directly on the property line and in close proximity to the addition of the house as well.
Okay.
3 footers. Is that
3
the other-
footers. No, the trigger is 4 feet.
Yeah, I mean, normally a 3-foot wall would not trigger the requirement for a building permit and structural certification. It's up to the commission what you want to do on that.
I mean, we very rarely gone against what he's suggesting. I don't think ever. So I would put it in there, and if they don't want to pay for the structural engineer, they can kick it back and complain.
When do they do that?
Well, like Lisa does it all the time. He does it like 5 minutes after he gets a resolution,
Oh, well, we can't change it.
right? But he comes in and argues it again.
Have you seen the draft?
No, he's.
Oh, after we approve it?
Yeah, after we approve it, he comes in and begs, and sometimes we say yes, and sometimes we say no. Right, he did it with that house on Pratt Island, remember? He was all big, he was big dad about that bond.
Oh, I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think this guy's got enough issues with this small lot. I let him do his 3-foot wall myself. I think it'll be plenty expensive as it is. But
It seems a little overkill for a 3-foot wall.
yeah, I'm thinking,
I mean, I don't
Is
think a
it-
structural engineer is gonna change whether there's an encroachment problem or not. That's like a survey,
Yeah.
as a survey, right? I mean,
how much higher is the
there-
thing on the other side?
Yeah, but I think the issue is the design of the wall, right? When you put it right on the property line, you can't put a footing that extends onto the neighbor's property. So it's all gotta be on one side of the footing. Right,
Okay.
the wall gets structured, I would have them,
okay.
I would stick with Steve's suggestion and put it in there, and if they wanna take it out, they can come back
Yeah.
and fight. I mean,
is it really?
one's right next to the foundation of the house, and the other one's right in the property line.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't think a garage needs to be 24 feet wide. Mine's 20 feet wide. My
That's it.
wife shoves an Expedition in there
Yeah.
flawless.
But I think they really want it because of.
Flawless.
Excellent spatial awareness, your wife.
But I think it's because of the thing upstairs.
Right, I get
Yeah.
that, right?
But she was complaining about the garage, because the garage door is what, 8 feet wide or 9 feet wide, so you got 16.
Two garage, right.
Yeah, and usually it's
So they
like,
could shrink that and make their maneuverability.
right, that shrinks the whole house. Right,
I would just say that the wall is more of a civil engineer, surveyor issue. Let them run a string along the boundary, they'll see exactly where the wall can be or can't be. But just put in,
put it in, and if they kick it back, they kick it back. Then we
Okay,
can discuss
thank you.
it. Because it lands up being, it just lands up being an added cost.
Yeah.
To have
I
us
totally get it.
to have a guy sign off on it, it's probably another $5,000.
Oh,
You know, just to have some guy sign off on it and basically do nothing.
I hate to do that with
But didn't we have we had another wall that was right on the property line? And they actually volunteered to have the structural engineer because of that whole issue, right? You don't get a full footing under the whole wall.
Right.
Because you're right on the property line. I
It
can't
doesn't
remember, I
really-
can't remember what property that was. It was
I think they got permission to go.
pool, and they were digging out along the next to the pool, and
It was Holly, is it on the corner of
I can't
Holly
remember,
and
but-
Norotan?
Or when I can't, yeah.
whatever.
the
But
camp-
I think it's
That was a huge wall on camp. That was
Yeah.
like a 9-foot wall.
no,
Well,
can't, yeah, can't
well,
was massive.
No, you're
Yeah.
thinking, what about the one that was on,
It was on like-
what you call it, Lane, Echo Lane, or that little one, on a private street? That was a 9-foot wall. I mean, to your point, this thing's only 3 feet high,
Right.
you know? Put it in, if they kick it back, they kick it back, and then,
Okay.
you know, or call her and tell her that we're gonna put it in there, and make sure she saw it inside Canis's recommendations. Okay? So draft up an approval of that one with those quick notes.
Yep.
And then, what else? We deliberate everything we saw tonight. Approve of minutes. Ready, want to blow through some minutes? Let's go, Yankee. We're supposed to win tonight.
Yeah, again.
All right. First set of minutes is from September 3rd. The first one really doesn't matter because it was withdrawn. The second one was 10 Nickerson Lane. It was continued. Then we had special permit ask for the that was for Greenleaf. We approved that one already. Great Island, we talked about the capping of the old orchard land with the 12 inches of fill. That one for a little while. Darien Art Center, we talked about it, pretty simple. General meetings, Shaughnessy, Chocolatiers in there. And then I guess we did a lot of deliberations on this one. Any questions, comments, typos, scrivener's errors in this one? Everybody good?
Yes, all good.
Looking for a motion to approve as submitted. George makes the
Sure,
motion, and Amy made the second. All in favor? 6-0. Next one up is September 10th. That was 10 Nickerson Lane again. It was continued, so we didn't really talk about that. There was a second or third night for the car wash. We went through a whole bunch of different items on that one. Jason Klein. Sometimes we call it Attorney Klein, sometimes we call it Mr. Klein. Did we come up with a policy on that? No, we did. Sometimes we call him Mr., sometimes we call him Attorney.
As long as you start with attorney, then you can call them what you want to have.
We can switch it?
Testimony for the record, he is an attorney.
He is.
Yeah.
He is an attorney.
Oh, yeah.
And he also is a
Come on,
Mr.
George, he wants attorney in front of that.
Oh, I just don't know that you need
No,
to throughout the
we fixed it,
resignation.
we, a couple of years ago, we switched it to always say attorney, but
Okay.
it doesn't matter. Then we did a resolution for the YMCA, so we can't change any of that stuff. We did another resolution for Great Island, we can't change any of that. Another resolution for, what was this, for the Art Center, we can't change that. And then, what else? That was pretty much it for the night. Yep, there we go. Any questions, comments, typos, scrivener's errors on this one? Looking for a motion to approve as submitted. Adam makes a motion, Jimmy makes a second, all in favor?
I was-
6-0.
Yeah.
Everybody's in, right?
No.
I was not there.
You were
on the
recused?
10th. I watched the Vimeo for the cloud
Oh,
car wash.
so Maddie, Adam, Riley, and Netter.
Yeah,
So
I was-
Jamie, you were on that one also. Did you watch TV?
I did.
You did? Okay, good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Next one up is September 17th, which was the special meeting. It says general meeting. doesn't it?
General meeting.
Well, this is not the special meeting.
This is-
We have one more, right?
Nope, this is the special meeting we had just last week.
Yeah.
The 17th?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's called general meeting up top, do we care? Okay.
No. We can include the word special meeting.
Wasn't it a general meeting though?
No, it was a special meeting,
It was
we
a
added
special
it.
meeting.
So up top here, they should say special meeting.
Special
Yep.
general meeting. Both places.
Yeah, both.
The top, and after Mr. O'Leary opened the meeting at 7 o'clock p.m.
Okay, I did find one typo in there, in this one.
I'm referred to as Mr. Zionic by.
It is, yes, it's Mr. Zionic.
Oh, I'm
It's on
sorry about that.
It's okay.
Page
I've
10,
been in this before too.
third paragraph. Yeah.
Thank you.
We all know these guys. So we'll switch that. What else? It was really the resolution which we can't change. The town plan conservation development, and then Greenleaf, we just approved that resolution, which is there. And then you guys had another meeting with regards to 57 Hoyt Street, and we just fixed the one typo on that one. Any questions, other comments, or edits to this one?
I was not there, so.
Mike is recused on this one, and you did not watch it on TV.
I did not.
All right, so
I
he's
watched a
out.
bunch of stuff on TV, but not that.
Somebody watching a Yankee game. Looking for a motion to approve this resolution, these minutes as edited. Adam makes the motion, Jamie makes the second, all in favor? 5-0-1. All right. Chairman's report, we're gonna pass on the chairman's report today. Director's report, not Adam, Jesus. Jeremy, I just like saying the word Adam.
What do we got? We got a lot going on.
New day job.
Director's report, anything, buddy?
Yeah, next week it will be the first public hearing on the Thorndal Circle redevelopment, if you will, the rear part of Thorndal Circle. And that's, first hearing on that is next week. They'll cover some of the issues, but not all of them, we believe. They're still working with the Architecture Review Board. And we'll have to find it. We're working on getting a second hearing night for that. And then October 8th, the week after that.
Is there anything else on that agenda besides Thorndal Circle?
Is that the dock as well?
Mm-hmm.
There's a dock on Nickerson, which we'll put first on that agenda,
Okay.
because that'll take 15 minutes. And we hope to have some draft resolutions for next week.
Okay.
From tonight.
So I was gonna take the night off,
Okay.
right? You're not recused anymore on Thorndal Circle?
Correct.
You're gonna plan on being there? Okay.
We could do the approvals without you.
Yeah, you can do the approvals of
That's just for all the
resolution.
stuff we did tonight, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you're planning? Those are all gonna be very straightforward stuff.
So, okay.
Except for Cloud
Yeah,
9
the
or Cloud 10.
So, okay. So that's,
You wanna be around for that one? 'Cause we can-
Kind of, sort of.
Why don't we, can we push Cloud 10 to the following week?
we could do, well, Fred, we're about what? We might be able to get it for next week, or we could do it for the week after, your choice.
Yeah, we
We
can
decide.
make, we can make it happen for the first if you want.
Do it for the week after.
We'll do it for the 8th. Okay. We'll try maybe one or two of the easy ones.
Thorndale's gonna be long time.
Yep.
And then we're gonna need another, they're straightforward, but we're gonna need a half an hour, because there's gonna be like 7 of them.
Yep.
These little,
And then we
Yeah.
meet again on the 8th, which is the week after. We'll have one interview consulting firm for the town plan.
That's.
Take about an hour.
the 8th?
That's October 8th, and then we'll have the rest of the resolutions for the 8th.
So mostly, so that'll be an hour plus an hour, some time to deliberate on Cloud 9. That'll be good.
Yep. And then we'll have a draft resolution for
Yeah.
car wash on the 8th as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else to add? 2/3 vote? No? We're good? With that said, I would entertain a motion to close the meeting. Jamie makes a motion. Mike makes a second. Shocking. All in favor? 6-0. Thank you, TV 79.